Typically, if you heard that there were 45 dogs found at a home, you would think that it was totally in disarray. But I want to bring in Sergeant Dwayne English of Joliet Police Department to explain what happened in this area of your township here. So it was the Joliet Township Animal Control and Joliet Police Department that were sent to a home, and what'd you find?
Yeah, so last Tuesday, October 21st, we were notified by the Joliet Township Animal Control of that they were going to an address in our city in Joliet here after receiving a report of numerous dogs at the residence. Once our officers arrived, they met up with the JTAC personnel, and we found 45 beagles inside of a home. It was a ranch-style home. Numerous beagles. They were all throughout the house. Some were loose, some were in cages. But I think what's most important to point out in this situation is that the dogs all appeared to be in good health and to be well cared for, to be honest.
I mean, that's really astounding. There's no suspicion of animal cruelty, no arrests that were made. So what do we think was happening here? Was it just a breeding situation?
Well, I think what the animal control people have found out that the dogs, I mean, obviously the dogs were being inbred within the home. For that reason, we're not completely sure why. There was I don't believe there was any intent to sell the dogs or for the dogs to leave the home. Other than just the mere number of dogs, there, like you said, yeah, there was no report of cruelty. There was no signs of cruelty. Like I said, the dogs appeared to be in good health. And it's just one of those situations where, we're looking at it from kind of all angles, like we do in many investigations. Is this a hoarding situation? Is this someone who simply just really loves beagles? And you are correct. There are no charges in this investigation. The owners of the dogs were compliant and cooperative all throughout this investigation with the Joliet Township Animal Control and the Joliet Police Department, and they agreed to sign over 42 of the 45 dogs so that to stay under the limit. So the city of Joliet has a city ordinance which requires that homes have no more than 3 dogs. So in lieu of receiving a city ordinance violation, they agreed to sign over the dogs. And let's be clear, the most important part of all of this is like the immediate welfare of these dogs. And from what I understand and what I've learned in the days since is that there has been a large and very positive public response to these dogs, and I'm hearing that many of these dogs are being adopted to into warm, loving homes.
Well, that's wonderful to hear. I mean, I'm so confused about what this initial situation was, that you might have wanted 45 pets, that you weren't selling them. But, okay, so what is your message, I guess? I mean, it's important for you to state, as you did, what the ordinance is for that area. Is it a rural area where these dogs were? I mean, I'm just trying to wrap my head around the setting.
No, so the 1400 block of Bury Street is actually right on the our city limits, along with Crest Hill, and it's not a rural area; it's an urban area. Like I said, it was a smallish ranch-style home where these dogs were found. Our message for the community is we want people to enjoy their pets, whether they be dogs, cats, or what have you. However, we also urge the responsible ownership of these pets. Again, I mean, there are many questions still that remain from this incident. And again, you have to wonder and you have to question the level of care that we provide for our pets. They're family, and we try to provide them with everything that we would a typical family member. But when that number rises up to 40 plus, up to 45. You wonder, how can someone care for that many pets? I will say that it was communicated to me by the officers that responded that the people at the home knew every dog by their name.
Oh my.
Yeah, there was, there was a high level of interaction with these dogs, and and that's why there didn't seem to be any sort of belief of cruelty or anything like that. So, so moving forward from this, it's just we like I mentioned, we just want the proper, the proper care of dogs and cats and other pets, and it's just not normal, and sometimes just not feasible, especially for that type of area. It's an urban area. It's one of our older neighborhoods here in Joliet, and we want to be able to give these pets enough space, and so that was another reason why it was important that these pets have their own home where provide them more room to grow and thrive.
Yeah, and to give the neighbors some relief, it looks like they were complaining about all of the barking that was going on. So I see here, it looks like all of the beagles have found placement. Really glad to see that.
Yes.
And that happened very quickly. So great things, at least from that standpoint, in terms of people helping out in your community. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Really appreciate it. Have a great weekend.